Check out these views. Switchbacking up the side of this hill here. Pretty steep climb. Incredible views. My Jeep is down there in the basin there. Wow. And I'm headed up that way. So I've got a small descent, just a little flat up here, and then I got another climb, and I think the lake's right up here. I'm within a quarter of a mile of it. So we've got the Brocky Lake Welcoming Committee. I don't know if you can see him or not. That's a 4-year-old cut in there. Well, good morning. It's 10:30, Wednesday, I think it's the 9th of September. So I'm in Idaho. I'm in the Pioneer Mountains of south central Idaho. I'm actually at Brocky Lake. These mountains are located in south central Idaho. There's scattered groups of lakes, of high mountain lakes here in these mountains. They're fairly high elevation. This lake, I've never been here, heard a lot about it. When I was stationed in Idaho Falls, this was one of the lakes that was on my list, but I never did fish it. Over, I guess, I don't know, north of here, in these same mountains, there's some lakes over there in Broad Canyon and Bellis Canyon, which I have fished. That's actually my destination for tomorrow. This is kind of a warm-up hike. It's about 2 miles in here. Pretty good climb. I mean, it climbs really good. Pretty steep climb. Trail has some switchbacks. So we'll see. This lake has 4-year-olds in it. It's stocked every 3 years. It was stocked in 16 and then again last year. Like I say, it's a short but steep hike, 2 miles. It's about a 2-hour drive from Arco, Idaho. Closest town is Mackay. Took me about 2 hours to get to the trailhead. Most of it's really good graded road, but the last few miles you gotta have 4-wheel drive. There's one point coming up this, I don't know, Forest Road 221 where I was actually doing some crawling over loose boulders, so I had to do 4-wheel low and lock the rear differential. Pretty lake, very pretty up here. I'm gonna go down the shoreline here, rig up, do some fish, start some fishing, and I've seen a few fish rising. I've seen a few fish cruising. We'll see how she fishes. All right. I've been fishing for about, I don't know, 30 minutes. Looks like I may have my first fish here. Using an ant. It's certainly not red hot, but it's all right. So this should be a 4-year-old. He's all right. He's probably, for a 4-year-old, he's probably a little below average, but still all right. So here's your Yellowstone cutthroat. He's about a foot. Like I said, he's not real big. This would be below average. In the Beartooth, in most lakes, this would be below average for a 4-year-old. But he's all right. There you go, bud. There's another one. A little on the snaky side. Oh well. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna need the forceps for that. Alright. Got another one. Switch to a foam beetle. Just to see what would happen. I got one fish that's kind of being selective with the ant, so I thought, well, I'll go to a beetle. And the fish that I was messing with refused it too, I think. And then I just had this guy take it. Well, I got another one on the beetle. So, I don't know, this is my 4th or 5th fish. 4th or 5th. And I've been fishing for about an hour and a half. This one's alright. This is the nicest fish of the day, probably. He's not huge, but then we got another one. What is this, 6th? He's not quite as nice as the last one, but he's all right. Another Yellowstone cut out of Brocky Lake. So it's about 12:45 or so, 12:40, 12:45. I think I've caught 6 in about an hour and a half. Now I'm going to have a little bit of lunch. The hot place on this lake right now is down here at the corner. I don't know why, but it just is. That's where I've seen the most fish and caught the most fish. So it was a chilly morning. It's turned into kind of a nice day up here. Very sunny. It's a little cool because of this big trough that is still kind of the western edge of it's kind of this area. So it's a little cool here, not as cold as it is elsewhere to the east. So it'll warm up a little bit. I think today the highs are supposed to be in the low 50s up here. Tomorrow supposed to be a few degrees warmer, then Friday a few degrees warmer more. So the fish in here, they're 4-year-olds, the ones I've been catching. I've seen a few smaller ones that are like 5 to 6 inches, which I assume are the last year's plants. These fish in here, they're you know, what I'm used to with a 4-year-old, they're a little bit below average in terms of size, but still, I like catching fish that are about 12 inches. And these fish are, these fish up here, they're 11 to 12 inches. So I don't have much to complain about. It's a beautiful place up here. It's real pretty, real pretty. I've taken video of it, and some pictures, but honestly, it doesn't do it justice. Very pretty up here with these are different mountains. All right. Well, I've had a couple of hookups and then several refusals, and finally I got another one here on the beetle. He's all right. Oh boy, he's a nice fish. Nice fish. Oh yeah. Wow. He's all right. Let's see. Oh boy. All right. This guy here, he's nice. He may be 13. Let's see if I can get a hold of him. He's a solid 12. Fat, nice fish though. Like that. One. All right. So I switched over to a foam ant, a black one, that's tied with a colored foam. And I've had, I don't know, 3 hookups and losts, and then I got this guy here, just here in the last few minutes. So this would be my 8th fish. I should have had about 4 or 5 more, but that's all right. Can't complain. It's not been bad. There we go. Well, it's a little after 2:30 in the afternoon. I just caught my 10th fish. So I've caught and released 10 on both. I've used both an ant and a foam beetle in here. It's actually not bad fishing. Beautiful lake. The fish aren't real big. They're 11 to 12 is what I'm catching. A few smaller than that, but most of them are 11 to 12, and most of them are in good shape. pretty good fishing up here. Beautiful lake. I've had it all to myself. It's a Wednesday down in the along the two forks of Iron Bog Creek. Down here, there's a few hunters down in the basin, but that's it. I'm the only hiker I've seen up here, so I'm gonna head out and head on back. Depending on time, I may go over Antelope Pass and drop down into Copper Basin. We'll see. But it's been a good day. It's too bad I can't get all of this in the frame. Maybe I can't do this. Let's try this. Yeah, that might be better. Interestingly enough, in the meadows right below the lake, cattle. Amazing. All right, here's the departing shot of Brocky Lake. And the fish are still rising. Well, I found something. I'm just below the lake, and that is no cow. Isn't she gorgeous? Sorry. There's actually a whole bunch of elk in there. I don't know if you can see them or not, but there's a whole bunch of them. There's one right there. They're gonna pop out into that meadow over there. There they go. There they go. They're standing there looking at me, and I can't zoom in anymore. So that one, she went the one way, and the other, there's a whole group of them that went the other way. So this canyon here is the right fork of Iron Bog Creek. In the distance there, if you can see it, you'll see the three buttes on the, I don't know what it is, the plain between Idaho Falls and Arco. And if you really have good eyes, you'll see a little bit of white in the left center of the screen, and that's part of the INEL, the Idaho National Engineering Laboratory, where I was stationed when I was in the Navy 26 years ago. So the Jeep is kind of right down there at the bottom. I still probably got a good 1.5 miles to go. Most of it's switchbacks. All right. So this, looking forward here, looking ahead, is the upper part of Broad Canyon. I'm just trying to remember this. The triangular mountain in the upper right that's Stanhope Peak, and it's an 11,000 footer. And right below Stanhope Peak, right there, You can barely make out let me zoom in on it. You can barely make out a little saddle, a little ridge there, or a little shoulder below, in front of the saddle. Right in back of there is Goat Lake. And I was there 27 years ago. Actually, let me rephrase that. Goat Lake sits below Stanhope, and then in back of that that small saddle below the big saddle is where Goat is, and then right below the little saddle is Bapty. My destination for today is off to the right. You can't really see it. It's just to the right of Stanhope, and that would be Betty Lake. I need to zoom out here and show you. This is the lower part of Broad Canyon. Anyway, so I got a little bit more walking, a little bit more climb, and more to come. I'm going to take a wild guess here that this is the outlet of Clear or Bench Lakes. It doesn't show up on my Delorme map, but I've seen it on other maps. I'm guessing the lake is kind of up here. I may actually get a glimpse of it depending on if this trail does what I think it's going to do. This is Clear Lake. I'm probably 3/4 of a mile from my destination. At least that's what I'm hoping. Still got a little bit of a climb in front of me. But we'll manage. I think they stock this lake. I don't see any fish rising, but I do think this is stocked. Well, there's my destination. Sits right up there in that cirque, so I got one climb ahead of me there. On the left, upper left, is Stanhope Peak, and then right over that ridge there is Goat Lake. If I'm looking at this right, the trail kind of meanders this way and then up that way. So, which is good because I am starting to feel it on the climbs here, but it's in sight. Well, this is Betty Lake. This is day 2 of my trip to Idaho's Pioneer Mountains, Copper Basin. I took the Jarvis Trail. I think it's 247 in from the Broad Canyon campground. It's like a little over 5 miles in. This is definitely not for the faint-hearted coming in here. This country is steep. This is the second toughest day hike I've done in my life. It's like I said, it's a little over 5 miles, but the climb elevation is about 2,600, 2,700 feet. I'm not talking strict elevation gain, I'm talking climb elevation. So you better eat your Wheaties before you come in here. There's actually 2 trails. There's the Jarvis Trail, which kind of is on one side of Broad Canyon, and the other one's the Broad Canyon Trail. And the Broad Canyon Trail is a little bit longer, and it ends up on the other side of this ridge here at Goat Lake. Just as a data point, I did that 27 years ago this month, September of '93. I made the hike into Goat Lake, and it ranks as the toughest day hike I've ever done. So this one here is the second hardest one I've ever done, and the toughest one in 27 years, just to give you an idea. But I am thankful that I'm here. It took me 3 hours to get in here. The trails actually meet up. You can actually go this way and drop over that saddle there into Goat Lake, which is not something I'm going to do. So I'm going to fish. I'm told that there's fish to 17 inches in this lake, and also in goat cutthroats. There's another lake over here called Bapti that gets stocked. It sits right below goat. It gets stocked with goldens, and it probably has some cuts that drop down from goat. So there we go. I don't know if you can see it. This is Stanhope Peak in the background. Boy, it's pretty up here, but man, I'm telling you, you pay. I've hiked 3 trails in here, and they are all, there's significant elevation gains. The one yesterday was short, 2 miles, but it was about 1,500, 1,600 feet in 2 miles. So steep country here. There's a fish right there. Just kind of sitting there in the water. That's kind of weird. There he is right there. Curious. He's kind of drifting. Interesting. So I've been fishing, I don't know, 20 minutes, 15 minutes. I'm using an net. I've had a couple of takes where I wasn't paying attention, and then I've had some refusals. There's fish cruising. They're all over the place cruising. I caught a little guy here a few minutes ago, about 6 inches. And here's my first. He's a nice guy. And I've been told there's nice fish in here. There's supposed to be fish up to 17 inches in here. This lake is stocked every 3 years. It has 2-year-olds and it has 5-year-olds, but there is also some natural reproduction in this lake and in neighboring goat. So, and he's all right. He's a nice fish. He's about 13. Here we go. And we'll release him. So I just caught one that was about 10 inches. And now I've got this guy here. That's a nice fish. This guy puts a pretty good bend in the rod. Wow. He's a nice fish. He's not huge, but he is very well built and he's a good fighter. And he does not want to come to the net. Well, he's a pretty fish. He's a little bit bigger than the bigger one I caught. He's a nice fish. Wow. I need to see if I can get a picture of him. So this guy I spotted cruising and I threw it right in front of him. Thought it was a little too close, but he took it. Right. Now this looks to be a nice fish, and he initially refused it, and then he turned around and took it. And I need to be careful. He's a big fish. He's a nice fish. Look at him. He's like a little shark out there. And there's another one out there too that's harassing him now that he's hooked. So I've caught this. This would be my 6th one if I get him in. I got 4X fluorocarbon on, so I can't horse him too much. He's a nice fish. Wow. There's another one out there too that's almost as nice. I'd like to get a picture of this guy if I can. He's a nice fish. He's a beaut. Oh boy, look at him. Ooh. I mean, he's not 20 inches, but he's a nice fish. Nice cut. Look at this fish. Isn't he gorgeous? Wow. All right, let's unhook him here. That is a nice fish. Nicest fish I've caught out of the high country in a long time. I'm going to show him to you here real quick. Look at him. Wow. All right, bud. Look at this behavior here. That's a fish. Look at that tailing that he's doing. Fascinating. Well, it's almost 1:30. It's kind of slowed down a little bit in the last 30 minutes or so. I finally got one here. This would be, I don't know what it'd be. This would be like my 8th fish, I think. There you go. All right, so this is number 10. And a little over 2 hours of fishing. There we go. Another happy customer. He's a fat fish. He's a nice fish. He's all right. I may need forceps for this though. There we go. So I got my 12th fish here. I'm starting to count time. It's almost 2. So I'll probably leave 2:30, or well, I'll probably leave at 2:33, I guess. But he's a nice fish. He's all right. He's a pretty fish. He doesn't want to come in. Yeah, he's a nice fish. Let's see if I can get a picture of him. All right, now we'll unhook this guy. There we go. How about that? Nice cut. And back you go. Well, it's 2:30. I'm going to pump some water and head down the hill. I did pretty well. I caught and released 14, all different sizes, a lot of nice fish. One that was, I don't know, he may have been 18 inches. He was a nice, very nice fish. Yeah, the fishing here for the most part at this lake has kind of almost been like shooting ducks in a barrel. It's actually been the best fishing I think I've had at a single lake all summer. It's been really good. So yeah, it was worth it, and it should be, because boy, that was a hell of a hike. Wow. I was feeling it. The last mile from Clear Lake on up here was just, it was tough. So but I made it, and time to head down the hill. Tomorrow I was going to fish goat, which is over that saddle there, but no, as good as the fishing is up here, I don't think I'm up to another hike of that magnitude. It's even worse going up the Broad Canyon Trail to goat. It's longer and a little bit more climb elevation. So I think I'm gonna have to do something else tomorrow. I don't know what that is, but I enjoyed coming up here. But man, wow, today it was tough. It was tough, and you know, I've been hiking all summer, and two of the last 3 day hikes I've done have been, you know, 1,800, 2,000 foot climbs and over 5 miles. So I was gearing up for something like this, and I made it. It worked, but boy, I felt it. So anyway. All right, so I made that little recording up at the sign saying I caught and released 14. I came back here, spotted a fish. He took it. I missed him, and then cast it again and caught this guy. So how about 15? Caught and released 15. There we go. All right. All right, Betty Lake, Stanhope Peak, departing shot. It's a nice day up here. So I'm just below Betty, just a few hundred yards below. I wanted to show something here. You can kind of see there's a trail that takes off. I'm going over this little ridge here, and then you see this other trail that kind of takes off that way. And my map doesn't really show it, but anyway, what there is right over there, right below that little saddle there, is Bapty Lake, I think. Or it could be, Bapty's either right there or it's right there. One of the two. Yeah, I think it's and that trail probably goes over there, and that you could link up with the Broad Canyon Trail. I'm not going that way, but so yeah, I'm at that trail junction I was showing you a minute ago, and there's the sign. So yep, this will with this, if you go right, what it'll do is it'll take you over that way, and you can link up with the Broad Canyon Trail. So it's about a half mile longer if you do that, I think, though. So all right, that's what I'm looking at going out. I got some steep switchbacks in front of me, and it drops down there. There are actually cattle up here this morning. This is like a hanging valley here, and then you can see that gray. That's Broad Canyon. So I've got a ways to go, but the good news is that it's all downhill. Well, here we are. I'm descending kind of midway here, and here's Broad Canyon. Right where that shoulder drops off over there, the campground is below there. Okay, I'm about to start down some switchbacks. The campground and trailhead are in that stand of trees down there, right there. And you can kind of see the trail if you look close. You can see the trail after it gets down the switchbacks right there. Maybe you can see that, I don't know. And then this area out here is known as Copper Basin. All right, so get down these switchbacks and get done with this.